world we're now living in. We are competing in. We are repeating in. We are believing in. It's time for us to shift our mind from best in the world to best for the world. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional. It creates a new world to mind a shift, intentionality, perceptuality, conceptuality. We are choosing to shift our mind to best for the world, best for our world. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional.
So welcome to Radio Intentional Decisions and the program series called Global Consciousness. Today we're going to dig into young entrepreneurship. My name is Stellan Nordahl and I will be your host tonight. And I have a guest today. His name is Adam Toki, and I actually get to learn to know him a couple of years ago when he engaged in a program for young entrepreneurs. So welcome, Adam.
Thank you very much, Stellan. Thank you very much. It's really nice to be here.
Yeah,
as always.
As always, yeah. You and I, we see if I can arrange a little bit so we don't get the problem with too much sound, because both you and I, we're quite what do you call it? Voluminous. Yeah,
maybe.
A lot of volume,
very
loud. Yeah. So. I'm thinking here of I'm in the artillery.
I think it's before my time. To be honest.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, Robin Williams in a movie. Okay, so welcome to Radio Intentional Decisions, Adam.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's really nice to be here.
Yeah, and you hosted conversations and dialogues yourself and moderated stuff.
Yeah.
And how old are you now? I don't really know.
Right now, I'm turning 21 in 30th of April, so in the famous Valborg, and as we celebrate in Sweden. But I'm still 20 years old, so haven't reached that point yet.
Yeah. So we met 2020.
Yes.
In during COVID.
Exactly.
And couldn't you tell us a little bit about what happened at that point?
Yeah, of course. So let's if we just go back and snap back time to COVID. Let's just say that COVID was not a very fun time, but I can still say that it helped grow entrepreneurs all over the world, because entrepreneurship is in my opinion, we actually discussed this before this talk. We had a talk. We had a talk at the dinner table before, and we spoke that entrepreneurship. What is entrepreneurship? It's like everyone has their own peace of mind in it. But it's to think differently, to create something, to make new visions, to help someone, to just be a helping pillar for the society, maybe. And COVID really brought that out in people. But if we go back to the subject and how we met, it was during a program that the municipality of Malmö has. they help youth like just work over summer.
Mhm.
And then I was a part of that program, and I got handed the job at Force of Sweden, and we basically helped the citizens of Malmo to the value of hemestra instead of semestra. And
So find maybe not finding, more exploring their own neighborhoods.
exactly
As a way of having a vacation.
exactly.
Yeah, and you're supposed to marketing it.
Exactly, and that's like I've had many jobs after that. That's actually the most fun job I've had in my life.
Wow. Yeah. So at that point, you were in this program, and I was supposed to help out actually, because Foss of Sweden that hosted that program, you were about 100 people.
Yeah, I think
So it was quite a huge group, not something that you just do in an afternoon. So a 3-week program, and first week, as I understood, it was more like a self-leadership or something that, manage yourself and so on.
Exactly.
Which is of course very valuable for people in the young 20s, or maybe you were all.
I was 17 years old.
17,
Yeah,
okay.
I haven't. Yeah, no, I was 17 years old.
Yeah. Okay. So and the last week of the 3, you were supposed to do this marketing stuff, and a guy called Richard who is head of Foss of Sweden. He called me and said, Stellan, you know so many entrepreneurs and business owners. Couldn't you help us out? We need a lot of cases. And I was like, why do you want cases? Because we have a lot of students. I think he saw you as like students, and I was okay. Why don't we give them reality? And at that point in 2020, we were a lot of people in. That was actually when Best for the World broadcast was created as an idea of having meaningful conversations on Best for the World topics. So when COVID came in beginning of March, after 2 weeks, there were a lot of people that really suffered by anxiety about what could happen and so on. And so we thought about why not telling stories that bring people hope instead of creating anxiety, so on. So that was when the idea of Best for the World broadcast came up. And 2 weeks after, we had a big 4-day weekend with 100 people and 50 concepts, and during that period I realized that this could be done in a bigger format. In Sweden we have a democratic festival and dialogue arena called Almedalen, and there was a lot of discussions at that point if can we even do this Almedalsvecka, as it's called, a whole week of democratical dialogues with 30,000 people coming to an island outside Sweden called Gotland, and meeting up in a fantastic Hansa village called Visby, and it has been going on for 50 years. But in 2020, the politicians at Gotland, they decided we will not do it, and we were about, well, why not? This is a specific point in history where we actually all people around the world was synced. We were all in the same mode. And at that point, we were like, this is when we need conversations and dialogues. So we tried to prepare for it and to have this digitally broadcasted instead, Almedalsveckan, as we had tried it out in Best for the World broadcast. And we came to a point where we realized then we have to do it by ourselves. And that was when I met you. Yeah, because I said to Richard, you don't need cases, you need reality. And so we invited those 100 of you. And one of the 100 was Adam Taki. So we met in a workshop during the startup of this. We call it Ship of a New Story. What's the idea was about. How can we come together and have those meaningful dialogues then? And you have been hosting things there. At that point, you had a company. Couldn't you tell us a little bit about it?
Of course. So I was, let's let's say we're speaking about entrepreneurship for youth now, or for
Yeah, I guess you were in a concept
Yeah,
again.
exactly.
A lot of concepts here.
No, so
Yeah.
I was involved in what they call Ung Företagsamhet in Swedish. So it's
Mhm.
basically when it's basically a course in high school or in upper secondary school, gymnasia, or how you want to call it, when you get a chance to create your company for a year and to actually to run this company as a real company. So my idea came after our meetup, and after I was invited to Ship of a New Story, because I remember we discussed about jobs that create jobs there,
Mm.
and I liked the idea so much. So I brought that with me, and I thought to myself for a while, how can I implement this in the UF company? How can I make this better? Not better. How can I just make this idea and bring it to my school and bring it so that I can learn from it as well? So I just one day when I was speaking to my sister, I was like, "Oh, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do?" She said, "Like, why don't you just help people get jobs?"
Mm.
Then I was like, "Wow, that's a brilliant idea."
Yeah, yeah, it's a brilliant idea. So let's talk a little bit about your company in a while. But just before we do that, for our international listeners and so on, in Sweden we have IF, that's Ung Företagsmäts, but it's actually part of the global organization called Junior Achievement. And
Wow.
so in Sweden we've had it in the 1980s, and it was already in 1919, so it more than 100 years ago. It was created in Massachusetts in the US, and as a way to engage youth in
That's very
society,
nice. That's very nice.
and in bringing business into society and so on. And since the 80s in Sweden, and also since 2010, this EF has been engaging also younger kids, not only at your level, but also at the primary school. So
Nice.
that's interesting in
I didn't
itself.
know that.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So it's quite a huge organization,
Yeah.
and now let's talk about Workalla
Of course.
and creating work for others.
Of course. So, and then after I spoke with my sister, just an idea came to my head that when she said that, wow, you can just help people get jobs. And I was like, yeah, but like that sounds very easy to do.
Yeah.
But then I thought to myself, I've always enjoyed the art of writing. I always enjoyed the art of talking, as you maybe can tell now. No, so I just thought to myself, why don't
Self-reflecting.
Yeah, exactly. Why don't I just write CVs to people who need them,
Yeah.
and then also help them during their job interviews.
Mm.
And then I went on to help mostly youth,
Mhm.
mostly kids who are living in maybe unfortunate areas, and I cooperated with many different what are they called, like the Red Cross and the Barn and stuff.
Mm.
So it was really I learned
Okay.
a lot from it.
So just so we know it, what is your best tip on writing a CV? Because
Right.
maybe you never know when you need it.
Of course.
Yeah.
You need to pay me for it. No, my best tip is just make it to your own personality.
Mm.
Like your CV should be you. And then also one problem that many people do is they just have they don't steer it to the job they're applying for. So always don't be afraid to change up your CV. Like don't just have one and go with it. Make a new CV for each job you're applying for. That would be my best tip. So you include all the parts that they want as well.
Did you ever meet people that were in their that were interested in creating a business of their own?
Actually not.
That's interesting in itself.
Yeah, that is, yeah.
But you have engaged in that group also because you have been helping out in other programs
Yeah.
for young entrepreneurship,
Yeah.
and been helping young people creating their own businesses, but that was not in Workalla.
No, exactly.
But interestingly, you didn't meet anyone that
No.
had that idea.
Not when I started Workalla, or in my high school. After me, many came to me. Many came up to me and wanted to try out the same thing.
Mhm.
So maybe in that instance, but not
Okay, so
after.
then
Buying a service
did you
from me.
sell your business, or was it like open for people? Did you have it as an open source? Okay, that's
It was an open
Mm.
source, so I just wanted to help people. That was my goal,
Mm.
and then to learn something from it. So if someone wanted to do the same thing, the same thing as me, I was very open with it, and actually we're glad to help them.
Okay, so let's talk about young entrepreneurs then for a while. So, what is your take on entrepreneurship as a concept again, okay, as a way of thinking? Maybe what is your take on that?
Like as I said before, entrepreneurship for me is just to think, not to think. It doesn't have to be think outside the box, but just to create something yourself, something that you are proud of, something that you are burning for, or something that someone needs. So it's now I'm studying a bachelor's in economics. So if I put it school wise, what they would have said in microeconomics, they would have said that entrepreneurship is what the society needs.
Is what
What the society needs.
it's what the society needs. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So to fill in the gap, to make the demand and.
Okay, so that is what the school says. But what do you
Exactly.
say?
For me, it is what you need as an entrepreneur. What you need to do, what you need to contribute, or what you want to contribute. So it's the opposite for me.
Okay. Interesting, really interesting. That school tells you it's an outside in, and you're saying it's an
It's
inside out.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Because with
Have you told them?
no,
Not yet.
no, not yet. And
Yeah. I have a question. Couldn't it be the other way around?
yeah, exactly. Their job would have dropped. They would have.
Okay, so wow, that was a little bit baffling. Okay, so I'm thinking here. For you, it's like a self-fulfilling or self-exploring.
Yeah, like self-exploring, and then in my opinion, you can't fill out a gap in society if you don't have the gap yourself, but if you don't have the burn and the fuel yourself. So it comes within you, and then outside to the society. If it makes sense, I don't know. How
Yeah, definitely makes sense. It's more than a sense.
Yeah.
It makes for me it's yeah. Right now I'm asking you stuff, but if we go into a more dialogue instead of a interview, then I would say, how can you even help someone with something if you're not there already by yourself? I mean,
exactly. So it's an interesting take, I would say. But then
and I also would say, where did all the possibilities go?
Yeah.
If it has to be based on a need, then you're limiting yourself. Definitely,
exactly.
Extremely limited.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so this is 2024 when they telling you this in university.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have a way to walk together. That's definitely something. Okay, so but you have another take on it, definitely. And already when we met, you had started out with Workalla idea about creating work by
by creative work.
yeah, that's right. I love it. And you have had conversations. So if anyone is interested, you can go into Best for the World broadcast and find. I think a couple of years ago you made that first broadcast here.
Yeah, exactly. And I also actually spoke about the same thing. How could we make more entrepreneurs from less fortunate areas, but then from and all over Sweden, all over the world as well. Because I think in my opinion, that's when you, in Swedish we say blomstra, that's when you flower.
Flourishing, when
you flourish, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it's not coming up to a zero level, it's actually taking you higher.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't have to, like, if you ask someone who's in school now, who's in high school, in primary school, and you ask them what is an entrepreneur, they'll just like they will tell you Wolf of Wall Street, or they will tell you something like that. An entrepreneur doesn't have to make billions of dollars, or
No. It could be an artist, or it could be
yeah, exactly.
a mom, or it could be
Yeah.
a kid, or anyone who is creating something.
It can be an ideal like you don't even have to make money, or you don't even have to sell anything. You just have to create something that you like. I don't know, and it's that's
Then you have to have ideas. How do you do to? I mean, when I sit down and ideas just comes to me. I don't know if it's for you.
For me, it's unfortunately it's not the same. But no, for me, if you just find something that you like to do, because now I'm very involved in my students' union in school, and we're called Lundaekonomene, and I'm a project leader for a committee there. And then my goal is there if when I had to recruit 7 people for my team. So my goal was there, if we have fun together, we will do the best job. Because if you have fun, you'll want to do it, and you will work better, and it won't feel like work. So maybe if you want to start your entrepreneur journey, just find something you like to do. If you like football, I don't know, you don't have to make a football camp directly, but just make a YouTube video or just film a video. If you like art, if you like anything, just start with the basics and see where it goes.
When you're talking about flourishing, and you're talking about being in your, you're actually talking about being in your essence, or more or less that you do what you not only like, but when you feel alive. I'm really thinking of what would happen if we design our systems on that. Super interesting, because the kids already there, life affirming, and they are they're in their essence. They would never do what we as grown-ups do, actually.
Sure. And also as a kid, or when you live at home and you don't have any bills to pay, you don't have any mouths to feed, you
create freely.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to you don't have someone relying on you, so just do whatever you like, whatever pleases you.
Yeah, write, sing, or dance, or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Just do it.
Yeah. Super interesting. So when you talk to peers, I'm actually super curious here, because you and I, we have been facilitating those summer entrepreneur programs for a couple of years together, and so on. And we also went to Almedalsveckan together, and we've been talking to a lot of people. What is your? I mean, when I look on, for instance, on my son or on you, I see myself. so what would you see when you look at your peers?
Or what do you mean? Sorry.
Yeah.
Can you repeat it again?
Yeah. Okay. So, talking about entrepreneurship and so on, when I look at you, I see something that who is creative and engaging and also listening, and you're very passionate, but you're also empathic and stuff like that. And when I meet young people, I often see this in them. But that is not how it's spoken about when people talk about young people. They talk about young people as
lazy or
a problem, or
exactly,
something that is I don't know, someone who is not taking responsibility and so on. My experience is the opposite. Not 100%, of course, but I would say it's much bigger than the story that is been told. How do you look at your peers? How do you when you look at your fellow students or fellow entrepreneurs or fellow
No, like if you just, now it's gonna get very very philosophical, or
philosophically,
philosophically,
there's no problem.
But if you look at someone and you come in with the mindset that he's very young, or she's very young, or they're very young, they can't do the job right, they're really lazy, before you even talk to them, of course they're not going to show you their bright side.
Okay, so the look at them, the eyes which you look at them are creating their story, right?
Exactly. So
Wow.
you're labeling them before you even get the chance to meet them, and then you will see them as whatever you've planned before. Because it's
And it's not only limiting your view on them. Then what's what you say? It's actually limiting their possibilities.
exactly. So if I go back to my work with Workalla, and when I spoke to these to the youth, and when I spoke to these all of these students and everything, when I met them with respect, when I met them with like, wow, you're really good, you're the best, you're when I just looked up to them, and not, first of all, it instantly became mutual. They I would say they looked up to me before, but still they looked up to me in a different way, because we had the respect, as I said, and respect has to come both ways. And then they also wanted to engage. They also wanted to find that job that they like. They wanted to do that thing that they like, and the motivation started to come as well. So in my opinion, that's the most important thing. Like, everyone can be bright if you just give them a chance to be bright.
Wow. It comes up to my mind here. It's a story from a couple of weeks before Christmas last year. I was we have a tradition here in the little municipality where I live, where I'm engaged in a society called Luma Event, where we have like a Christmas market and stuff like that. And in the beginning of December, we also put up a Christmas tree along the city street and so on. It's like plenty of them, 100 actually, plenty of those Christmas trees, and we mount them to the on both sides of the road. So and this street in Loma, it's very central, and we were walking through there and putting up those Christmas trees, and then we saw a couple of young people gathering there. One thought would be, okay, so now they're stealing a Christmas tree, but we choose to see it in another way. So we called out and say, "Hi, great kids! Hi, you guys! We really need your help. Thank you for helping us. We are having like 100 trees, and it takes an eternity to put them all up. So please help out, and thank you for helping." And they were helping out.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. And then I can say I strongly believe, but I a little bit of me believes if you would have approached them with the idea like, go away, you can't steal the trees, go away, what are you doing here, they would have taken something. Because
at least it would have taken some of them away.
Exactly.
Maybe not the trees, because then we would have we would probably be able to get the trees back, but that was not the question actually.
Yeah.
The question was more like anticipating that they were there for helping. Maybe they were. I don't know. But if we would have looked at them in another way, I believe we would have taken something from them.
True. That's that's also very, very true. Oh, it's really interesting.
So what I'm thinking of is, how can we look at young people and look at entrepreneurs?
Yeah. Like, if I say as well, when I had Workalla, I was I'm young now. I was even more young than I
Even
am
younger
now.
then.
Yeah, I was even younger. But when I reached out to people that has been working in that has been running a business for a while and everything, like, I would say the majority of them also treated me with the same respect. But then some of them also, like, they thought that this is just a kid, he can't do it or something. So just if you just look at the youth, or look at the young entrepreneurs as equals, then it's all good.
Yeah, and at least it's a way of mutual learning. I mean, to be able to learn, I must be open to it, and also anticipate that I can learn.
Very true.
And that there is something that wants to be presented to me, or and so on. And if we can get that in as you say, in both ways, then it would be great.
Sure.
So, what is your next project then?
My next project, that's a good question itself. I actually signed for a job today. That's a more it's a more consultant-ish job, but it's not very. It's still very very square-ish, because it's in the corporate world. So it's not very open-minded, if you say so. But still, my project is working on myself and just wanting to be open to learn in all aspects of life and everything that life throws at me, if I say so. So that's my main project right now.
Wonderful. So, Adam, summing up young entrepreneurs and young entrepreneurship, can we find 5 words?
Wow.
And what is young?
Yeah.
We haven't spoken about young.
True.
Is it about age?
No. It's about. Yeah. Wow. That's really interesting. Wow. Is it about life cycles, maybe?
Maybe, yeah.
Is age the same as life cycles? Who knows? Who makes the rules?
Who makes the rules?
Because young in the law is under 18, or even like that's maybe not young. That's a youth, or that's a youth. Maybe young is under 12. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
It's
if it's for comparison, everyone that is if it's about age, everyone that is younger than the other one is young.
True. True. That's very true. So even twins are younger than each other, maybe. Does it still count as young if they're born 10 minutes before?
Yeah, I've actually, when you take this up as a subject, I must comment on it, because I have a thought here that I haven't spoken to anyone about, and that is the interesting thing of when you talk to twins, or when they are interviewed, they always define one as younger and the other one as older.
That's true.
For them, it must be super important.
Yeah. Because it is like throughout life. I think it's a natural hierarchy. It's really
probably.
Yeah, it's really easy to just make one decide over the other if you say I'm older, or you get treated with more respect if you just say I'm older. So maybe that, or maybe the young one likes to be young because you're yeah. Who knows?
Maybe we should do a conversation on old entrepreneurship, because I think that I believe it's we're so focused on age in society, at least in Sweden. I don't know it's in other parts of the world, but for instance here it's like if you're too old, then you're out of bounds.
Sure.
So
Or maybe we say the cycle of entrepreneurship instead. So you just you remove young and old.
Yeah. And are you open or are you closed?
Yeah, exactly.
Something like that. Or are you?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's really,
and maybe more like directions instead of a place to go. I go to the open place. No, it's like a direction maybe.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. It wasn't 5 words. It was more like 5 principles. So maybe another principle would.
We should write a book.
Yeah, definitely. Wow.
No, it's no, it is a very broad, not concept. It's very broad. How do you say now? I lost the word totally. A broad subject.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship, because that's it. It can be everything. It can be anything and everything. Everything you see in the room is entrepreneurship. Like someone has created everything you see around you. So it's
yeah.
It's very interesting.
And again, connecting those 2 words, which both have something with openness to do. I mean, it could be young could be a mental state.
True. Yeah, that is very true. Some people that are young, according to the law, are maybe more mature than someone who's.
Yeah, definitely. For me, it hasn't I wouldn't say it hasn't anything to do with age. There is definitely some kind of correlation, but it's not the only connection and
Sure.
relation. It has more factors, so
Sure.
more depth.
It maybe comes with experience of life, or
Yeah, maybe. Or I mean, I've met people that are in their youth as they are young, but they are super wise.
yeah, true.
If wisdom comes with experience, then it can't be correlated. I mean, it's very odd.
Yeah, true.
Super.
Mm?
Thank you very much, Adam,
Thank you,
for
Sam.
having this
Thank you,
conversation.
thank you.
And then
It's really interesting.
let's see what we can create together. This summer we're going to host again a new
Yeah.
program for summer entrepreneurship
Mm.
for young people.
Mm.
So 16 to 19 years.
Perfect.
They are definitely young in age.
Exactly.
Mm.
But are they young in thought?
Yeah.
That's a cliffhanger.
That's a cliffhanger.
To be continued.
To be continued. Thank you. And thank you for
Thank you very
joining
much.
us. And take care, everyone.
Thank you very much.
We are creating the world we're now living in. We are competing in. We are repeating in. We are believing in. It's time for us to shift our mind from best in the world to best for the world. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional. It creates a new world to mind a shift, intentionality, perceptuality, conceptuality. We are choosing to shift our mind to best for the world, best for our world. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional.